Hey, welcome in. Well, just in case you had faith in our political leaders, faith in their competence, sorry to burst your bubble. Here I have a headline. Trudeau duped by Russian pranksters pretending to be Greta Thunberg. Not the first time it's been done. Here we have Maxine was pranked by Russian pranksters pretending to be Greta. Who else? Let's see. Bernie Sanders was pranked by Russians posing as Greta. So they seem to have had incredible success, these Russian pranksters. Incredible success. In fact, more success than you would imagine possible, right? But, we are talking about Justin Trudeau here, so I guess there's that. So what happened here? So there's these Russian YouTubers called, they go as Vovan and Lexus, and they prank people. Says, earlier today, the prankster tandem released an animated video on YouTube of a telephone conversation they had with Trudeau last January. So this was a while ago, which I believe is the same time that Bernie and Maxine got pranked. So I guess they got them all at the same time before word got out that they were pranksters. But it does beg the question of why would they be talking to, or so eager to talk to Greta Thunberg anyway? She's just a media creation. That's it. She's just a brand. She's Nike. She's McDonald's. I mean, there's no substance there whatsoever. And if you're waiting for the world to end in, 11 years now, you're part of a doomsday cult. Sorry. But why? This exposes something deeper than incompetence by the Prime Minister's handlers, right? Why would she have access to Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, or anybody else in an important position anyway? Why would he say in the first place, yes, I'll take a call from this Swedish child, this very children of the corn-like Swedish child who's ranting about the end of the world? I mean, it just shows how fake politics are, right? And anyway, there's actually a link in the description to this conversation on these Russian pranksters channel. You can check that out. I do warn you that the first, 2/3 of it is Justin Trudeau grating on with his platitudes and even actually a little bit of triangulation on her questions there, which makes the whole thing even more absurd. But it's extremely grating to listen to him. In fact, I do believe I lost some portion of my soul listening to it. But it does start to get funnier towards the end in the last few minutes when she's asking to meet Terrence and Philip. And at the end there, he does realize, wait a second, she's talking about the South Park characters. And then he kind of wraps it up very quick from there. He starts to maybe realize that something's wrong, aside from the fact that it would have been wrong if he'd just been talking to the actual Greta Thunberg. That would have been a ridiculous thing for him to be doing already. But you know that the CBC would absolutely approve. They would find it moving and inspiring, so I guess it's all okay. And another funny thing about it, too, is that she didn't even sound like Greta Thunberg. The impersonator didn't even sound like her. But, Trudeau seems to be fully convinced right up until the very end. Even then, I'm not sure he realizes that it's not her. Now, there were some hints here. There were some pretty blatant hints here that it may not have been her. Let's see. She says to Trudeau, you are adults, but you act like children. So I ask you, don't play war. We can make the world a better place if we love each other. We can create a world for whites, blacks, Christians, Muslims, Trump, Putin, for you and me, for Johnson, for terrorists. So, I don't know, there's a little clue that maybe it's not the real Greta Thunberg, although maybe she'd actually say that. Who knows? Just going to interrupt for 1 second to say, if you like this content, subscribe so you can see more. Thanks a lot. Let's see. When the fake Greta expresses concern that Trump is doing everything he can to kill us. But I mean, that's just echoing the mainstream media, right? I mean, in mainstream Canadian media, all they do is they just have somebody from New York Times or Washington Post that goes on and basically says that, right? Everything is the most uncharitable version of whatever Trump has done or said or anything that you can imagine. And only that. So maybe that just wouldn't be very surprising for him to hear. Anyway, Trudeau responds that I can understand people can feel very strongly about him. Let's see. It says here that a spokesperson for the Prime Minister's office said that when Trudeau realized he was not speaking to the real Thunberg, he ended the call. Yeah, and he does end it pretty quickly at the end there. The spokesperson added there are strict protocols in place for calls directed to the Prime Minister. Apparently not strict enough. But given the circumstances of last January, in which many leaders were attempting to reach Trudeau, the prank call managed to get through to him. So here's another question here. Many leaders, and I assume they mean world leaders there, were attempting to reach Trudeau. Why does he have time to talk to a child from Sweden who thinks the world is ending? I mean, that in itself is kind of, to me, scandalous. That's insanity. So, the scandal to me is really just that either world leaders would feel either pressured into or even just want to speak to Greta Thunberg in the first place. I mean, didn't she say she wants to put them all up against the wall, right? I don't know. It just speaks to a kind of like decadence and, and just fundamental unseriousness in the culture, in the media, in politics these days. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. If you just like to listen, there's the podcast that's on pretty much every platform, including iTunes. Thanks a lot. I'll see you next time.